Welcome to Hidden Hilltop Homestead. Today we're going to be working on 3 different quilts. Right now I am getting ready to design this blue Christmas quilt. I have all these adorable Christmas prints and everything is quilted and ready to go. The next step is laying out the design of the quilt. Then I will sew the squares together, sew the rows together, and then do the outside trim, and then the quilt's done. But I'm probably not going to get this one finished today. I want to make a little bit of progress on this one plus 2 others. So I'll be jumping around a little bit, but we're still going to get some stuff done today. I just thought it'd be a fun time to talk a little bit about why I love making rag quilts so much, and also maybe encourage some of you who are thinking about doing it to go ahead and jump in. So rag quilts are incredibly simple, and you end up with a very beautiful finished quilt. They're very customizable for size and super simple to create, super simple to make like designs and things because it's a block pattern. So it's just sewing squares together, and you can do things like create a plaid design, you can create a stripe effect or alternating patterns, or do whatever you want. Honestly, you can use all different types of materials. I've seen people use minky fabric, fleece, flannel, cotton, denim, some sweatshirt like jersey knit material. I've seen that before too. So it's a really easy, fun project. If you're interested in learning how to make one, I will tag my tutorial down below for how to make a rag quilt. And also, it's a very easy project to pick up and put down. I'm constantly in the middle of a quilt at all times, honestly, and it's not hard to pick up where you left off. I can set my project down and come back to it weeks later and still be able to figure out where I was in the process. For example, right now I am laying out my design, and I just have all of my squares stacked and sitting on a craft cart that I'm pulling from. So whenever I get to a certain point with a quilt, I just kind of set it aside and go about my day or whatever. And then I can come back tomorrow or the next day or a week later and work on it if I want. So super easy to manage, and as long as you have an idea of what kind of color palette you want, or maybe a specific theme of your fabric, you can make something really awesome. My favorite size to make is the throw size, which is 60 inches by 60 inches. That is 144 6-inch squares. So that's what you're looking at here. I'm on row 4 on this layout, so I have 8 more rows to go. But my favorite design for every quilt is to just kind of haphazardly lay it out. I don't do any type of patterns. I think this tossed look really goes well with having the huge variety of fabrics and different things. So all of my quilts are cotton. I have cotton quilting on the front, cotton batting in the middle, and then flannel on the back. So it's very easy to customize these, and they're very beginner friendly. The actual quilting part of making one of these is just sewing the X through the middle of these squares. So it's very simple. If you're intimidated by a regular quilt, which I am definitely that way, piecing together your quilt squares and then quilting a finished blanket all at once is a lot for a lot of people. It requires specific machinery or some type of setup to adapt your regular sewing machine to be able to quilt something that is large. A lot of people who make quilts make baby quilts because they're small and easy to move around, but if you are interested in making something larger, such as something this size even, it is a little bit more difficult. This just makes it easy to assemble a quilt. It's still a quilt, it is quilted, you are sewing front, middle, and back together, and then you're sewing the blocks side by side, row by row. So it's a lot easier to handle, and I just absolutely love making these. Here is the finished look. It's gonna be so freaking cute. It's hard to kind of see the whole thing because it is just a little corner of each square, but it's gonna be adorable. I'm so excited. Now I'm just going to stack up my rows. I start with the last block of the last row and I go backwards, and I stack all 12 squares on top of each other so that they're in order to sew. And I'll go from the bottom to the top, and then when I start putting my quilts together, I start with row 1. I did a financial breakdown of my materials for another video a while back, and I found that based on average of what I was paying for fabric, this size quilt costs about $45-ish to make. So this is a 60 by 60 quilt, which is like an oversized throw. Like you could even put this, it would be short, but you could put this on a twin bed. And I think being able to make something for under $50 is pretty incredible. It obviously depends on where you get your fabric. This is priced from what I normally pay, like if I'm shopping at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. If you are going to a independently owned quilt shop or even shopping online, you're probably going to end up paying a little bit more for your fabric. It also depends on the brand, the quality, and things like that. But the stuff that you can get at the box stores, even Walmart sells fabric, and it's totally usable, and you can make a really nice quilt. I think it would be really fun to make a rag quilt out of recycled materials. I've done a t-shirt rag quilt, so I know that I can do something similar to that, but I could even recycle some bed sheets or curtains or just, you know, anything that is cotton material and make a quilt for us here at the house. I think that'd be really cool to do, and just to kind of show like how low you can get the cost to make something that's like absolutely gorgeous. I'll have to write that down in my notebook of video ideas. So Blue Christmas quilt is pieced and ready to sew together. Okay, I am trying to decide what I want to do next. Yesterday I finished quilting that Blue Christmas, and now I'm trying to decide if I want to work on this flannel or if I want to work on the 4H quilt, because the 4H quilt, the squares need quilted still, and then the design will need laid out. This flannel quilt, I'm just at the point where I'm sewing my blocks together, so I don't know. I would rather, I think, quilt the 4H quilt than mess with the flannel. I think I'm more in a quilt mood than a sew mood. So now I'm trying to decide what thread to use on the back. I like to keep the color consistent as possible, because if you change colors on the back, you will notice it unless they're very close. I do not have multiples of any of these. This one is the closest color-wise for sure. Like it's pretty much a spot-on match, but I don't have very much. This is, I feel like maybe a little bit too dark. I do have more of that than I do of this last one, but this, I think this last one will also work. I don't know. I just know getting more of it is going to be a pain, and I think I'm going to go with the lighter color because I feel like it won't stick out as much. I'm going to save the lime green to match with some of the fabrics on the front, and then I'm going to go with this lighter green just because I think I'll have more of that, and that matches pretty close.
We can help with that. Just highlight your topic and it'll make an outline. Hold in. Looking pretty sus without a citation. Okay, yeah. Holding the bottom. They got a handle on it. Let's dig in.
So I ran out of my backing color, and I have all of this to do. So I don't have another one, so I found that color, which is close, and I was like, cool, that's probably enough to get the rest of that stuff done. And then this happened. I have this giant cluster, which I'm gonna try to undo because I need this thread. This is the only thing that's close, and it's not super close. I'd rather have the same color for the backing. But if this puts up that much of a fight, I'm just gonna say whatever and just use that instead. But I'm gonna try to untangle this so that I can use it and finish the back of this 4-H quilt and then move on. So here's what I was able to save. There's not a lot on there, but I did some of that, and then I put the rest on this other bobbin because I just ended up cutting out the glob that was in the middle because it was too much of a pain. So here is the color difference of what we're working with, and it's more noticeable on camera than it is in person. I think it blends pretty well, just kind of like highlights differently, so I'm not worried about it. It's gonna be fine. As far as like matching color on the front, I'm not worried about it at all. Sew's the same, we're good to go. That's the only one you're gonna notice it on. And I feel like if I use that darker color, it would be way more noticeable. So we'll see how this goes. Ignore all this lint, but I ran out of bottom thread again, completely out. So I actually went to Hobby Lobby and got some very close. I mean, that matches the back better than anything I've put on here yet. So we're gonna fill up 2 bobbins worth from this color, and then that'll be to finish. I have to finish these and then this, and then I'll save it for when I go back and do the trim all the way around. I do apologize for my audio being all over the place. I am trying to do more audio while filming, and when it's super hot and you have fans running and then also your TV is blaring in the background, it makes it very difficult to actually hear what I'm saying. So unfortunately, I'm trying to clean up the audio by going back and forth, but I am trying to keep as much as like the real in-time audio as possible. But anyways, we're gonna just keep on chugging right along with this and hopefully get it finished. Welcome to the future, where I successfully quilted the remaining couple blocks I had left, and now I am assembling the 4-H quilt. So I had some people ask me like what 4-H is or why I'm making this, and I was in 4-H from Clover Buds, if you know what that is. That's very young, and it's a youth community program. It's basically to get kids to do things that help the community and help themselves grow, and 4-H camp was a huge part of my childhood. I went clear up until my junior or senior year in high school, and I had to go to Girls State that week instead of 4-H camp, and then I just ended up not going back the following year. But I made so many friends, lots of memories, and I just have a lot of life experience that came from 4-H. It's a great program. I saw this 4-H fabric in Joann's maybe like 2 years ago, and I was like, I'm gonna get that, hang on to it. So I ended up getting, I think, like a yard or a yard and a half of each one, and I've been just kind of waiting to see if I could make something with it. And then I was like, okay, I need to make a 4-H quilt. And then when I assembled a St. Patty's Day quilt and then turned it into this, I think it's gonna be really cute. It's not in your face 4-H. It's not exactly the same color on the back, isn't like the matching color of 4-H green, but close enough. I think it's still going to turn out really cool. So here is our finished layout. I think it looks really good. I ended up having 12 different patterns, but some of those patterns had only a couple blocks, so there's a little bit of repeat. I wanted to be heavy on the 4-H print and try to like blend it a little bit better, just because some of this is clovers, some of it is just green, and I know there's more to 4-H than just like the color, but this is how we're doing this. I am going to sell this quilt because I know it's going to turn out good. I'm starting to doubt myself a little bit, but I know it's going to be cute. So county fairs are going to be happening very, very soon, and I'm going to try to get this posted before then. And maybe somebody who's in their last year of 4-H, maybe a parent will buy it for them as a gift, or if one of the like livestock clubs or something are interested in it, I think that'd be great for that too. In the future, I think I'm going to make another one that's got more 4-H themed fabric in it. Maybe find some stuff on Etsy and just incorporate a little bit more of the actual theme and less of just like colors. But right now I'm going to work on getting my rows stacked, so this will be pretty much ready to roll just like the blue Christmas quilt. Alright, I'm calling it for the night. We have made some progress. The dogs are sleepy. See you tomorrow. So I had to stop in Hobby Lobby again today to get some yarn to finish up another project. Saw this teacher fabric. It's 40% off. They do fabric 40% off every other week. This week it was not on sale, but this was. So I got some of this. I can see a teacher quilt coming, so we're gonna get some of this, go home, do some sewing. I don't have a lot of time this evening before work, but I'm going to try to get at least 1 or 2 rows sewn onto that flannel quilt that was on the top of my quilting cart, because that is one that I'm working on for a tutorial, and it's the one I've been working on the longest. It's just been sitting, so I need to get it done. But I'm gonna try to make a little bit of progress, and then I have to work tonight, so I will catch up with you guys tomorrow. I'll give you my little fabric haul from Hobby Lobby. It's pretty much what you saw plus a few other things, so see you shortly. All right, let's jump into our little Hobby Lobby haul. Just a few things. We got this really cute teacher fabric. I love that one. A black background makes everything pop. This is super cute too. This looks like notebook paper, and then the prints, absolutely adorable. And then we have the multicolored hand prints, which are so cute. I paid about $2.39 per piece, and these are half-yard pieces because they were 40% off the marked price. And then I also got 2 remnants. Both are cotton quilting. This one was 21 inches for $2.44. So half a yard is 18 inches. That's what I normally buy my increments in. It's just pretty little turquoise with gold. And then this one was 26 inches for $3.02. And it's just a wilderness print, but I thought how cute this would be on like a crib quilt in a wilderness theme, or just a regular wilderness quilt. So cute. Adorable. We're back and we're working on the flannel quilt again, and I think this is where we're going to wrap up today. This is wrapping up row 7. I finished row 6 last night and attached it to the quilt, so half of the quilt's done. I just have 7 through 12 to do. Hopefully I'll get 7, 8, and 9 done tonight, and that'll be 3/4 of the quilt finished. So anyways, thank you guys so much for checking out this vlog. I hope me sharing my feelings about rag quilts maybe inspired you to start your own. It's definitely super easy. It's very value friendly. If you're looking to get into quilting without spending a whole lot of money, you can do all of this with just a regular at-home sewing machine. And I just, I share my passion with you guys just because I know I enjoy watching other people make stuff. It's very inspiring to me, and it's just kind of like a nice way to pass the time, maybe if you're working on something else too at the same time. So crafters unite, am I right? Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed sewing along with me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!